Hello and thank you for watching. I'm Jennifer Bowman with Olympia Piano, and this is video number 7 in the tutorial series on Chopin's Nocturne in D flat. In this video, we're going to go over measures 34 through 36, and we are going to cover articulation, rhythm, and fingering. And I'd like to give special attention to fingering in this video because some of the patterns really require that you find what works best for your hand. If you need any review on key signature, time signature, you're going to find that at the beginning of video number 1. If you need any review about varieties of 3/2 rhythms, you'll find that at the beginning of video 2 and also in detail in video number 4, which covers measure 16. If you've been following this series, you know I like to go measure by measure. So let's start with measure 34 with the left hand. A couple of options: 5, 1, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. Or you could have 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5. Group 2, 5, 1, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. Or 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 5. So I'm giving you fingerings that are most commonly used. That doesn't mean these are the only fingerings available. If you find something else or a combination that works better for your hand, please use that. Before going over the fingering for measure 34, I just want to spend a moment on articulation. It has to do with looking carefully at where the ends of the slurs are for these phrases. In this particular measure, we have what I would call a gentle lift floating off at the beginning. So we've got this tie here, and it says dolce. So we're going to gentle lift at the end of the phrase, float off, and then this one has a staccato. So I'm going to make that a little more quick. It's going to give a little more ping when the pedal is here. And then same thing for the next one, another staccato. So pay attention to the speed at which you lift your hands in this phrasing. So let's just address that little squiggle. That is another sign for a trill. In this case, it's going to be a 3-note trill. We're going to start on the main note, and we're going to do the next note up. So we have a B natural, and then in this measure, we have C sharp. So those are going to be our notes for the trill. And the fingering will be 4, 5, 4. 3, 1, no matter what. So I'm just going to let you know that 4, 5, 4 for trill is a little bit difficult. So you might have to spend a little bit of extra time just getting your fingers to feel good for that. One tip is that you want to really play on the tips. Don't let it get flat, but keep it nice and focused on these joints. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 fingerings for the right hand. We're starting from this tie. So 4 is holding on this enharmonic note, D flat, which is turning into C sharp, but doing so silently, except the thumb lifts up and plays 1. So our starting position is 4, 1. Then we're going to have our gentle lift, 5, 2. And then I'll give you one option for this next little bit. You could either have 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, and then to the next part. Or we have the silent 4, 4, 1, 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2. If your hands are large enough, 3, 1, 5, 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1. That's the same. And then ending on 5, 2. And then 4, 1, 5, 2. So I would say fingering number 2 would be if your hands are a little bit larger. The other thing I want to point out is there's a lot of 1s on the bottom of this fingering. So it is okay to lift that 1 up a little bit before the next note so it doesn't feel choppy. See, I'm lifting it a little sooner. All right. Measure 34 is pretty straightforward. There are only 2 things to think about in terms of rhythm. One is the rhythm of the trill, which we already talked about. So it's going to be a triplet. Trill is going to start on the beat on the B. So the only other thing is take a look at the end of the measure. We've got the 30-second rest with the 3 sections, and then the 32nd note, you see that extra line on the bottom. So beat 6 is going to be together, left, right, together, going into the next measure. So let me play that measure hands together. Here we go. So we're holding here. So we have a 1 and 2, lift, down, together, 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 right hand lifts, left, right, together, lift. Now I'll play it a little more quickly for you. I'll start the end of the measure before so you can hear how that tie fits in, the enharmonic tie. It's really fun to play these once you get them under your fingers, so spend as much time as you need to get those intervals of a 6 to feel secure. Measure 35, group 1 left hand, 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 5. Or if you prefer to put 4 at the end, you could go 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5. Group 2, 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 5. Or in some editions with these larger jumps, they have a fingering which kind of rolls over the pinky. I'll show you what I mean. So 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 4. If you like that, you could also do that. So now let's talk about articulation. So now we have this thing that we've seen before a little bit earlier in the piece where there's a slur and there's staccato notes underneath it. So what I like to do is suggest that you play these staccato notes on the very tip of your fingers. It gives it more of a ring when the pedal's on versus doesn't have as much ping because I'm giving too much energy to a larger area on my finger. So the more I can play on the tips, you have to be careful because you're on the black keys and you don't want to slip off. So then the other thing that you're going to want to do in addition to this curved finger playing on the tips articulation, you're going to want to give a little bit more emphasis to the notes that are changing. So if you see this first group of notes, each of them has a C sharp in it. So we don't want to give equal weight to the top note and the C sharp. What we want to do is curve our hand a little bit more to the right so that weight is going to the top. So we're here. And then similarly here, instead of having the hand straight and equal, because we have a bunch of repeated E's, now we're going to change the angle a little bit to the bottom. So we want to hear. It's like a little back and forth duet. So articulation, tips, voicing, which is giving more weight to a certain part of the hand, is going to give us more melody. Now we can look at the fingering. First of all, you can either start with 5-2 or 5-1. So make your choice there. And now let me do the second portion because there's lots of different options for the second portion, which is circled up there. So it's going to be 5 notes. So you could either have 5-1, 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, 2-1. See the angle of my hand? Or number 2, a little bit of shift on either end of this, okay? So we start with 5-2, then shift, 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, shift, 4-3, which gets you in place for that angle thing I was talking about for part 2. Or you could start and end with 4-1. 4-1, 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, 4-1. So you kind of squeeze in the bottom. The last one's a little bit complicated, but I'll show you just in case it suits your hand. 4-1, 5-2, 4-1, 3-2, 3-1. This keeps you light and not sitting down on anything. 4-1, 5-2, 4-1, 3-2, 3-1. So the second half, the last 3 notes of the measure plus the first note of the next measure, I'm going to give you 4 different variations on that. You'll see the variations are very slight, but you want to be thinking of playing very lightly, and what feels good is you're voicing that bottom note and maybe have your hand turn at a little bit of an angle towards the left. Okay, so option number 1, 5-2, 5-1, 5-1, 4-2. Change angles at the next measure. Or you could have 5, 2, 5, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, kind of ease into that switch. Or you could have 5, 2, 5, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2. Or 5, 2, 5, 3, 5, 1, 4, 2. So slight variations. Try them all out and see what works for your hand. Now, before we put hands together, I want to point out that those notes that are beamed together, the first one is a 3/2 triplet. You see the little italic 3 underneath, but the next one lines up exactly with the left hand. So the second one is slower and the first one is quicker. So we could line those up either with a ta, tiki, ta, ta, tiki, ta, ta, or a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So when I do it slowly, I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3 method. So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, slow, 2, 3, 1. Do you hear that difference? So the first one's faster, the second one's slower. Let me play that a little more quickly. Group 1, I think there's just one fingering unless you decide to start with 4. But in this case, let's start with 5, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 5, or 5, 4. And then group 2, 5, 1, 4, 1, 2, 5, 5, or 5, 4. All right, so let's go over the articulation for the right hand. As we saw before, there's a place with a gentle lift that happens first. So kind of melt off, float off. And then we have a couple of notes with no slur. So I like to think that these are played a little more crisply, a little bit more on the tips. If you look very closely, you will see that the C sharp of the grace note is tied to beat 4. So you're going to have together, tie, shift. All right, so we'll either have the grace note before the beat, which would sound like this. Lift. Or it could be on the beat, which would sound like this. Now, continuing on with the articulation, our next articulation is going to be a crisp lift at the end of beat 6. So we're going to have down, up, and it sounds nice and crisp, even if the pedal's down. So pay attention to the lifts on those slurs for the articulation. Now let's go over the fingering. You see it circled above the section I'll do first. It's going to stop right on beat 4. There's several choices for this, but really please pay attention to what feels good to you because it's kind of cramped. Everything's fitting together very closely and there's some interesting rhythms here. So you really want the fingers and notes themselves to be secure. So we've got 4-2, gentle lift, 5-3. You could have 2-1, then 2-5. See that pivot for the grace note? Or one slight difference, 4-2, 5-3, 3-1, 2-5. Okay? Choice 3, you could end on 4-2. So you could do 4-2, 5-3, either 2-1 or 3-1. I'll do 2-1, 2-1, 4-2. Instead of having 2-5, 2-4. That's another option. And that part goes together quite easily. So it's together, left, 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 together, together. Depending on how you want to play the grace note. Before I go through all the fingerings, let's talk about the trill. 3-note trill, D natural. Next note up is going to be E. You see the E natural at the beginning of the measure, so we're going to use D and E for this, and then back down to D. It's going to go on the beat because of that 30-second note prior. There will be a couple fingerings which I'll go through as I do the fingerings. We're going to start first with 5-2, then 3-1, 4-5-4 for the trill, 3-2, 4-1, 3-1, 4-2, 2-1, 5-2, 4-1, or whatever you like. Okay, choice 2 starts the same, 5-2, but instead of doing 3-1, we're going to do 4-1 this time. 5-2, 4-1, 3-5-4, 3-2, 4-1. Now switch to 4-2, 4-2, 5-3, 3-1, 4-2, 3-1. So choice 3, just the ending's different. So we'll start on 5-2, 4-1, 3-5-4, 3-2, 4-1, 4-2, 5-3. Now here, 3-2, thumb comes under, 5-1, and then 4-2. Choice number 4, we'll have 2-5, 3-1, and then for the trill, you could also have 3-5-3, 3-5-3, 2-1, 3-1, and then 3-1-5-2, or some other combination from before. I like that. Figure out which of those works for you, write it in your music. Now let's talk about the rhythm. When I put the hands together for this section, I'm going to use the 1-2-3 counting because we have that split up triplet with the 30-second rest in the middle of it. So that's what counting I'll use. And I also want to mention when I do it slowly, I'm going to do it without the trill first. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, for the counting, when you add the trill is going to come before that subdivision of 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me do that a little bit more quickly. All right, here's the slow playthrough with the metronome. I'm going to start at the end of measure 33. Here we go. Thumb scoots over, gentle lift, crisp, now quick lift, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, angle of the hand, gentle lift, crisp, hold the time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now I'll play it through at tempo. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel, share with others who might enjoy this type of teaching. And if you are so inclined, send me a donation on PayPal. All the information is in the description. I always love to know where you're from, so please leave that for me in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.